We're here on the round table. We got the legendary clothing guru, Jeff Hamilton, in the building. How you feeling today, brother? You good?
Good. Nice to meet you, Berner.
Nice to meet you too. I'm glad you came because I'm definitely taking my clothing company, Cookies, serious. It started off kind of just as, as a big guy, I couldn't really find a lot to wear. It was either polo, Ralph Lauren, or a Coogee or something like that. So I intentionally started Cookies clothing so I could have nice things to wear that fit me, But I'm learning more and more about the cut and sew and the quality of clothing. We've done pretty good, so I'm definitely going to pick your brain today.
Oh, my pleasure.
And get some game from you, as you've done some pretty incredible things.
Thank you.
You started out with Guess?
Yeah, when I moved in the country in 1980, I came from France. I was 20 years old, married, and 2 kids. And I was looking to try to get something going, so I started a little hustling in the streets and try to buy and sell and try to create my business. And I started becoming friends with. I became friends with some French guys. We were from the same background, and they had started a new company called Guess.
Wow!
And nobody knew about them, and I wanted to make a change of stopping. I wanted to become legit and not start buying and jobbing. And I was familiar with the concept of licensing, so I told them, why don't let me license the name Guess from you guys to do the menswear. And at the time, the whole Guess group was about $2 million, the whole thing. And I started the company in 1983 with $22,000. And I didn't know much about designing. My background was math and physics. I had no idea I had good taste, but I didn't know anything about fashion. And again, like you, I had just start doing things that I would love and something that I would wear. So I started going through my closet and I started going through pants that I like, a shirt that I like, and I started basically inspiring me from that. And I started designing the first line. So I got the license, and then first few months were a struggle with no money. And after 3-4 months, I started doing $10,000-$15,000 a month. After 8 months, I was doing $500,000 a month. Within 24 months, I was doing $5 million a month in sales.
And when you licensed it, did you get it to where you had to pay them a royalty, or did you have it to where you were just getting a small royalty on everything you did?
No, I paid them a royalty.
So dope. So you had control pretty much of Guess Men.
I had 100% of control. I was 100% owner of my own company, and the company just took off. And it was magical. Imagine in the 80s, I didn't have a green card. I was kind of illegal in the country, and I'm here sitting with 400 employees in my company. And of course, it didn't take me long for me to get a green card with that support.
No, they want you here, for sure. That's dope, because I don't really have any experience in the clothing either, but when I started it, I've been so hands-on with the designers for either cut and sew or our printables, our graphic, the graphics that go on the tees. I've been really hands-on and passionate about it, but no knowledge or no background in it. Just knowing I want to see clean, simple things like, the print on this sweater with the nice little patch. It's not over-branded. It's not too much. It's clean. Something that people could put away and put back on in 10 years and still be clean.
Exactly, yeah.
That's the key.
Once you have the passion for something in any business, whether it's the clothing or the weed business or anything that you have, if you have the passion of it, the practicality will come, because you can always find the right people that know the thing. And it's a very easy learning curve, and you can do it.
I was talking about that earlier with Al Harrington about passion. If you have passion, no matter what your experience or knowledge is in what you're doing, you'll figure it out, because you want to figure it out. You love it.
Exactly.
You're interested. You're hands-on. You're not going to let go. If you're forced to do something, maybe you won't be as creative or as fast on being innovative,
Absolutely, yeah.
So how long did you rock Guess out till?
It was only 3.5 years, because
Really?
Unfortunately, during that time, I became so big so quickly. I was by myself. I was a young kid, barely even spoke English. And, I thought I was like the mogul. So I started going through opening restaurants, opening businesses.
You popped it off. You got the bread and was like...
In 2 years, I opened 17 different corporations,
Wow.
And, of course, there was some kind of tension. They wanted to get the company back. So And I basically had only a 3-year contract because obviously when I signed the contract, I didn't have the leverage to carry it for a long time.
You didn't know what it was going to do.
No.
You knew you wanted to do it, but you didn't know what it was going to do.
Exactly. So I did that, and I immediately switched it to Jeff Hamilton. And it was not my real name, obviously, because I'm Jewish, born in Morocco, raised in France. And I adopted the name Jeff Hamilton because that was the name of my corporation. So people knew me under the name Jeff Hamilton. So I started rocking the name out, and start promoting the name. And I created a whole line which was more like a lifestyle brand, with jeans and pants and fashion. And again, it was the 80s. I was mega successful. So I started making a lot of. I was flashy. My hair was all the way down to my shoulder. I was rocking I was driving the Bentley, riding the Bentley, riding the Harleys, and I started making jackets for myself, and like crazy jackets. I didn't know how to produce it, like you said, but I had the passion to design them. So when I started designing the jackets, everybody wanted to get those jackets. I started asking for really crazy prices because I didn't know how to produce them. But people start buying them. So I start selling them to the store, and suddenly George Michael comes to and wants to get a jacket, and Madonna gets one, and then Guns N' Roses and Dice, wants to get some jackets, and I started making that, and wanted the business started taking off, even though it was not a big business, but I was getting tremendous amount of publicity, and everybody knew I was the man for the jackets. So I said, look, how do I capitalize a great idea where I can get all that press and make money with it? So a friend of mine was very close with the NFL. I said, why don't you make an NFL jacket? So I started making an NFL Giants jacket. And I said, I don't think we're going to, people, at the time, people wouldn't pay $1,000 or $1,500 for a jacket. But I said, every team has 50 players, at least, or 100 players, whatever it is. And then between the 50 players...
Whoa. That's the second time that's happened today. I apologize about that. This is real-time issues while filming a podcast. We're going to go ahead and just retire this today. That just killed the vibe. My bad, brother. My bad about that.
Enough. So I said, even if I sell, let's say, a couple of hundred jackets a year, I think, at $1,000, so that's a couple of $100,000 a year in gross sales. But that gives me a lot of prestige because obviously I love sports, and I'm going to be associated with that. And lo and behold, the thing took off, and everybody said, we want to get the Bulls jacket, and we want to get the Lakers jacket. So I got the NBA license, and everybody wanted, at the time, you remember, like in the late 80s, everybody do the White Sox, and
yes.
and
White
the
Sox
Yankees,
was so big, yeah.
White Sox, Yankees, and Bulls.
I had a White Sox hat in the 80s.
And Raiders, was crazy, So and I got the baseball and hockey, the Kings. Remember how big the Kings were also, even though, and people were not to be fans of it, but people, the colors, they didn't mean. And I started getting heavy into the sports and still continuing all the stuff for the celebrities, whether it was Mike Tyson's to, like I said, all the Motley Crues and Guns N' Roses.
You did a jacket for Bill Clinton?
I did jackets for a lot of the presidents. I did all the jackets. I did a lot of jackets for Donald Trump way back then for the casinos at the time also, and I knew him as well personally. But I'm not a fan, but that's on my own personal.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I'm not a fan of the Orange Man either. But
actually, I was invited to go to the White House. I turned it down. So
I'm glad you turned it down. That guy's he's got a weird vibe to him. He's not really that hippie and not bringing the vibes.
For me, it's not about the money, not about the thing. It's just about what I feel in my stomach.
The ultimate goal of being an entrepreneur or businessman is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. To work with who you want to work with.
Exactly.
Not who you have to work with. So, but going back a little bit, we're talking about the 80s where MySpace, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook's not around.
Right.
How did you create a demand for the jackets prior to the NFL? So you made them for yourself to ride on the motorcycle. How did you get it? How were you sharing these and getting it popping? Were just people seeing you? Or
it's a good question. I'm not thinking about it. I have not thought about it. But the truth is, at the time, we used to do the trade shows.
Yeah.
I used to go to trade shows, and people would see. At the time, with the era of MTV, so you would see even the first video of Madonna, Borderline. the guy who's walking the street is wearing my jacket. And then George Michael, everybody knows George Michael wearing those leather jackets. And Guns N' Roses, I mean, Axl and Slash wearing the jackets. And one to the other would get it. And Dice, everybody knows Dice is known for the jackets. And it was word of mouth, and it just build up and build up, but through the era of MTV. And then, of course, I was getting a lot of press, People magazine, and all the magazines, and I was getting that. And we were not. There was no Facebook, there was MySpace, no Instagram.
It was just it was like real television,
right?
Just being in the mix, trade shows.
New Kids on the Block. I mean, New Kids on the Block might have been one of the biggest influencers of my brand, because I was doing everything for them, and all those teen magazines, and they were in every single cover, and it was pretty much, again, magical. I had back-to-back magical stuff, and
that's crazy. I like stories like this because here I am again in the clothing business and doing pretty well for what we are. We're more of a streetwear brand,
right, yeah.
But
and my stuff was really. Sorry to interrupt you, Berner. My real success was always in the streets.
Yes,
the urban, what we used to call the inner city brands.
Yes,
and my market was really big in Philly and New York and Maryland and Boston. And the Midwest, Chicago, and more than even Los Angeles, because it was the kids wearing it, and we got the rappers to start getting involved in it.
Once you get the music and the culture of the rap community behind something, it goes. And that's how I popped off Cookies. But it's cool to see, even people in your lane that's big in the clothing and respected in the fashion industry, came with no knowledge, just passion and just work ethic and execution. A lot of people, if you're listening to this right now, don't feel defeated if you're not knowledgeable about a certain lane that you want to jump into, a certain industry. Follow your dream, because it's definitely possible.
Yeah. Actually, did a lot of stuff for Michael Jackson also, and in fact, I designed all the jacket for the Victory Tour. And when I went to Michael Jackson's house, I mean, that became my motto. I kind of adopted it. There's a big sign when you go into his house right here on Evanhurst in Encino. He said, "Those who reach touch the stars." So it became always, nothing is impossible. Just have to go and reach out and try to do it and believe in making it, and it happens.
What was it like working with Michael? Was he a cool cat? Was he?
I only met him a couple of times, but obviously, with the success I had with the guests, I bought a house in Beverly Hills, and I was renting it to Jermaine, and that's how I started meeting the family, and one thing led to the other, and I started doing things. But it was great. They were great. I mean, they always.
What would a jacket that would go to someone like Michael Jackson, or Bill Clinton for that matter? What would that run? Like, what would you charge?
It depends. I mean, in the late '80s, I made a jacket for Michael Jackson. I was charging wholesale. It was $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I mean, the ones for Bill Clinton didn't pay, but they were probably like a couple of grand at the time. And we had all different price points. At the time, my prices were probably from a retail from $1,500 to $3,000. And at the time, I was the only one who was selling like real expensive jackets. I would sell like jackets with a bunch of tattoos and stuff like that. They were like $4 or $5,000, which is a lot of money in 1988, 1989. So,
what's the key to a perfect jacket to you? For a fire-ass leather jacket, is it quality of the leather? Is it the cut?
It's all of the above. I mean, the quality of the leather has to be there. The fit has to be perfect. But really, it's the workmanship and the design that you have on it. It's because I have basic jackets, but also like subtle jackets. But my jackets were more known as pieces of art. I mean, not to sound pretentious, because they were very detailed and all the leather cut out in small pieces and appliques. So basically, I could do a jacket for you with your face on it,
mm-hmm.
and I would actually do the face, and you would not even see it. I mean, every little piece would be cut out, and I could make it three-dimensional. And one of the things I realized early on, in probably like early 90s, that when people start referring to my jackets are as pieces instead of saying, "I have one of your jacket," I realized that they're using the same term for a jacket for a piece of art.
Yeah.
So I kind of try to hype that behind it also. And I always suggest when friends of mine in the clothing business or any kind of product, make your product a step above everybody else.
You have to.
Whether it's not only with the marketing, but just the packaging. So I start basically every jacket I deliver in their own handbag, a special, beautiful bag that had my big logo on it. First of all, it's a promotional thing. People were traveling with my big logo on the back, and it's not a big expense. It was only a few dollars, to do it.
But it's everything when they get it.
Exactly.
They see it, the
they're getting the
experience,
added value.
Yeah.
And then I start signing every single jacket. Personally signing it.
That makes it even harder.
Like when any jacket over $1,000, I would personally sign it individually. When it was a jacket for like my mass jacket I was doing with $250, $500, and my big mass market was mostly in NASCAR. That's where I really exploded my business.
So all like the NASCAR drivers with all the logos and stuff.
I invented that jacket.
So you invented the logo like crazy.
Yeah, no. Basically, because when I got into NASCAR, I said, what is, and I started making all the jackets for the drivers. And those were $2,000 a jacket. But I figure, like, you go to Daytona, you see 400,000 people that 90% of them are wearing licensed product, the T-shirts and the hats and the backpacks. And I say, how could I sell jacket? They're not going to pay $2,000 a jacket. Let me try to find a way to make a jacket that's a price point. But when you go to an NFL game, an NBA game, or a hockey game, what do people wear? They wear the jersey.
They're wearing the brand of the team they represent.
The main thing, more than the actual brand, is just the jersey, the item. So I say, what is the equivalent of the jersey to NASCAR? It's the driving suit. Of course, they're not going to wear the whole driving suit. So let me just cut it down and make it as the top part of it. But of course, I'm going to put all the logos. Let me just simplify and put like the main logos on it. And what was amazing with NASCAR is that every year, the driver would change sponsors. So every year, if you're a real hardcore fan, if you have a LeBron jersey this year, you're going to go to the game next year. You're not going to buy a new one.
Yeah, you're going to wear the old
But the NASCAR fan is so loyal to their team, to their driver, that they would buy the next jacket. So there was kind of
you're constantly making brand new jackets.
Exactly, you're making brand new jackets, and it was like crazy.
What's the margin? Like on printables for like T-shirts, I'm sure the margin's way, way, way better. But for me, like on this hoodie right here, the margin on the cut and sew is obviously just not the same. Were you able to kill it with the margins?
I always kill the margins.
That's my boy right there. I love this guy.
The only reason why I did that was because the effort of marketing, and because I was even though as much I was doing solid business, but I was mostly much less than what I did when I was doing Guess, but my margins were greater because I was such in a niche market that I really had no competition because I had all the licensing deals. Nobody could basically duplicate it. I mean, if you make a T-shirt and you put like a great, let's say, I'm not saying you are, but somebody does a T-shirt and put a weed leaf on it, even though they have a great label on it, somebody else can duplicate that and make it at much lesser price. When I was making a jacket that had the appliques and it had the NBA logos on that, nobody could really duplicate that, even if you wanted to, because I had the licenses. So I could get the extra margin. And my extra margin would allow me to do the marketing, whether just put it on, make sure Michael would have the jacket after he won a championship, or Kobe or Shaq, and that kind of promotion.
It's so priceless, dude.
And that's really where I killed it, because I was in the locker room. As soon as Michael would wear a championship, he would wear the jacket, kind of like he had the same feeling like if it was the championship ring, with the difference that he didn't have to wait 4 months to get his championship ring.
It was coming right away.
And it was not that T-shirt and that hat. It was the actual jacket. Yeah. And he would be on the plane coming back. And the next day, in the middle of the summer, when it was like 100 degrees in Chicago, in Los Angeles, I would get my phone would ring off the hook and I would sell 1,000, 2,000 jackets. And because people didn't buy my jackets, I always say I don't sell a product of my jacket, especially the jackets, more than the lifestyle is different. But I'm not trying to sell. I'm trying to sell an attitude, and then try to sell a memento. So you're not buying the jackets because you're cold. You're buying the jackets because you buy yourself a personality. You buy yourself like we were talking earlier. It's like when you get a Rolex, you don't want a Rolex because you want to get what time it is. You don't drive a Bentley because
this time and day it's fucked. I don't even look at it. It's the look, it's the vibe.
But you don't buy a Bentley because you want to take you to point A to point B. You can have Uber, you can get a Toyota. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is it's a personality. You buy yourself an identity, you know. And
were you straight to consumer with the jackets, or was it in like department stores, or?
it was mostly in a lot of urban stores across the country. I tried to stay away from department stores. I mean,
Yeah.
I wanted to be more because I just didn't want to play their game, and I created demand mostly with that. You know, with the urban store, I have very strong, about 1,500 accounts across the country and internationally as well.
There's nothing more I love than a fucking bomb-ass leather jacket, especially being a big dude.
Yeah.
I can't really find them much. I found a couple. I found one with some nice fur. The
I
one
can
you're
make-
wearing right now, I keep looking at. That thing is hard.
I can
That
make-
looks
I
like a
can make-
mafioso jacket right there. Like, it matched the vibe of the pinky ring, and then, you know.
Usually I don't wear all black, but today, you know.
Man, look, I love to wear all
out.
black. I was in all black before you showed up, but did you make that jacket?
No, I didn't make that. That's the only one I didn't make. You know, I mean,
That
I
motherfucker's
just-
nice right there.
but
though.
I make jackets like that all the time. You know, I mean, I'm actually. I don't know if you're familiar with that great jeweler. I'm sure you know Peter Marco.
Peter Marco.
He's the one who does all the stuff for Cardi B and
yeah.
and Floyd and pretty much all the urban rappers and stuff like that. He's right in Beverly Hills, so I'm making a lot of Python jackets for him right now. And,
Python.
yeah, and those are really, really hot. You know,
How does it work when you do a custom? Like, would you, let's say if I wanted to get one, if I was going to spend some bread, you just come, you get the measurements, kind of get the idea of how I want it to fit, and just...
Usually when it's an exotic, usually I don't go too much with a lot of designs. Though I did a jacket for Rihanna where actually I did a weed leaf on her. I did the deer skin mixed with python with a leaf on it. I have a picture on my Instagram. You should
Damn,
see it.
Rihanna got the weed leaf.
Yeah.
I need to get with Rihanna and smoke some with her. She stays repping that weed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rihanna.
But basically, the best way to do it is you give me one of the jacket that fits you well. I get the pattern from there, and at least I know it's exactly what it is.
It's the cut we want, yeah.
The cut you want, and then if you want to make a little changes and different things. And like I said, I always keep added things. I will put 2 pockets. I'll create a pocket for you to get your weight in it, you know, and to make sure with a zipper in it and things like that. So I try to be creative and adjust my creativity to the needs of whoever needs it.
Did you? How long did you have the NFL license for?
I had it on and off. I would say probably I started in 1988 up to 2004. I mean, through 2 different companies. I mean,
but you held it for that long. Pretty much,
Yeah,
you were the only
right.
one making those style jackets with the. And what about NASCAR?
NASCAR, I probably started in 93. No, for sure. I started in 93 to 2004.
So a lot of people that follow me and follow what I do are entrepreneurs in the making, or businessmen that want to learn about how to build brands, how to get money. Did you make more money, if you feel comfortable saying, rocking with the NFL for that long a period of time, or NASCAR for that short period of time?
Hands down NASCAR.
Wow.
Hands down NASCAR. NASCAR was probably my biggest growth of my business because it was, again, I mean, as much as, I love the NFL more than I love NASCAR.
And it's huge, and you would think that because of how many teams there are and how many fans there are and how big football is, I would have thought if you're going from 88 to 2004 compared to 93 to 2000.
Dollar-wise, maybe it was. I still believe NASCAR was bigger. I mean, I sold my company to a NASCAR company in 2002. So, and I was CEO of the company, of a public company, from 2002 to 2004.
So was a company public when you sold it?
Yes.
Wow.
Not my company.
Okay.
The public company bought it.
They acquired you. Stock or cash?
Unfortunately, I took some stock and some cash, and I didn't collect all the cash, and the stock didn't carry as well because it made a lot of different things. But
I've been nervous.
I learned that my advice with all the mileage I've had under my belt is if you sell a company, sell for cash.
Well, that's been my whole
solid.
thing.
No, you don't carry any paper, and you don't take stock.
Yeah, I mean, with Cookies being a $500 million company right now in the cannabis industry, we've been offered so many deals of stock, and I've just followed my gut and said, hey, 1, I don't understand it. 2, my knowledge is, since I'm a majority owner, I'm not going to be able to liquidate as fast as I want to because people will look at what's wrong, why is he getting rid of it? And 3, I'm old school, just give me the check. I'll pay my taxes and know what I have.
You get restrictions. They'll give you a restriction for you not to sell it because they're afraid that the stockholders are going to be, if you get out, the stock will drop. So, I mean, it's, for me, if I sell a company, I'll take cash. I'd rather take less and walk away. Like you said, you pay your taxes. And it's cool to pay your taxes.
It's a peace of mind. You know what you have.
Exactly.
With the stock, it may go up, it may go down. You have to learn how to sell it and trade it. And
No, it's
I don't have time to learn about stock right now. I'm
No.
so spread thin with what I'm doing now to
Right.
try to figure out how to sell some stock. I'll probably have a heart attack.
No,
if
it's
I figure
you
this
know
shit out.
you always concentrate what you know how to do best or what you're passionate about doing. So
What's one of the things you rewarded yourself with the most? Like, what's something you said, like, you did to celebrate your success? Would it be a vacation? Would it be a big purchase? Would it be a house, a car? What's something you did that was a dream that you, when you did it, you're like, this is what I worked my ass off to do?
really, I've had it all, and I lost it all, and I had it all. So I've had my ups and downs my whole life. And I've lived like a billionaire for the last 15 years, which I'm not, and I'm still working my ass off, and
Yeah.
I'm still hustling as much as probably even more now today than I did ever when I came in with a wife and 2 kids with $6,000 in 1980 from France. But basically, what I did was to try to support my family
Yeah.
and my parents, my parents-in-law, my wife, and try to make sure that I'm a good provider for my family. But I've had the cars, I've had the beautiful trip, I've had a beautiful home, and it's just the bottom line. What I really thrive for is my happiness. That's what makes me happy.
Mental health and being happy with your family is the key to everything.
And your own respect,
Right.
and knowing that in your own soul you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's cool to hear that you've been living like a billionaire, even though you're not, because I do that too, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm nowhere close to even a 100 millionaire. Yeah.
You want to be the best person that you possibly can be in every aspect of your life. You want to maximize your potential. Like the biggest fear I have in my life is being on my deathbed and saying, you know what, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Yeah, that's my fear too.
So I really want to be, whether you want to be creative, if you have a dream, reach out to your dreams and do your things. So now I start getting, I'm involved in the art business as well.
Dope.
I own a trade show. I really believe there's 4 elements in today's market. There's fashion, there's weed, there's hip hop, and there's street art. Those are, and this is the same guy understand those 4 elements. So I started getting involved. I mean, I created a trade show dedicated to street art called Street Art Fair, and I already put together 8 trade shows, and I'm looking for the next venue to do my next one. And after a while, I always was doing art myself because everybody told me, your jacket, that's such a piece of art. So I started creating the same concept I'm doing with the appliques and leather in creating huge pieces. And I started becoming successful as an artist. I mean, I'm known. I have my art in some galleries. And that is a passion of mine, just to do it. It's not necessarily, I'm not putting a dollar sign at the end of everything that I do. I really want to,
as long as
I'm losing money with it, I mean, I just want to follow my dreams.
That's important. I mean, I know as soon as I exit cookies, if I ever feel like I want to sell it, but if I do sell it, I want to do things I'm passionate about too. I'm still going to work. I don't think I'll ever stop working. But I think I'll probably jump into film.
Yeah.
I play with some film, some documentaries, and just I'm into that kind of stuff. That's passion. And same way you said, if I'm not just dumping money and wasting my time and resources, if you're passionate about it and it's something you want to do, then it's not a waste. Even if it costs and you break even, it's what you want to do. That's what we work hard for.
As long as you do something that you, like you said, like you're passionate, but you also, are involved. I mean, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, and investing in with different people, give them a couple of $100,000 to this guy, $100,000, and then if you're not hands-on, and then they do it, it's not their money. They didn't earn it. They don't care about it. And so you really, as long as you're involved in it and you put your know-how and your passion in it, and it's going to work. It has to have your DNA on everything that you do. You have to have your stamped on it.
Yeah, for sure. What are you doing now with clothes? Besides, I know you said you were doing art, but what are you doing with the clothes now?
I'm still doing a lot of. I mean, I closed my business last year, and I'm still doing a lot of custom jackets for a bunch of celebrities. I just did some Drake's jackets. I've done a bunch of other celebrities. I'm doing a bunch of custom, one of a kind. But it's not a real business. It's just for me to be out there. I'm designing a line of shoes for company Vlado Footwear, so it's an urban brand. I'm designing a Jeff Hamilton line. And I'm in the process of raising capital right now to relaunch Jeff Hamilton as a lifestyle brand. The line is already done. I just need to hopefully put it to market in the next 6 months. I want to probably break it at Complex Con.
It's a good event. I've been to Complex Con. We were outside, unfortunately, because they thought we were going to be smoking weed the whole time.
Yeah.
And we didn't even smoke weed outside, but we went inside. Everyone was smoking weed. So this year I'm going to push to be inside. But Complex Con's a good way to launch something.
It's a great platform because, it's in today's market, it's just not only about the wholesale business. I mean, the wholesale brand, like the wholesale shows like Agenda and things like that, are really cool, and it's good. But the beauty of ComplexCon is that you reach out not only the wholesale business and the image, but you get the hardcore.
You get the tastemakers. And you get the tastemakers, the hype beasts, the people are going to go out and get on their Instagram, that have real following and spread what's hot, what's not.
Exactly, and Instagram has been a great way for me to keep on going and being relevant through the market, because I have so much content. I mean, I don't know if have you been on my page of Instagram?
I haven't.
I mean, I have 1,100,000 followers, and I just really get tremendous engagement. I get, during ComplexCon, I put up one of my new design of a jacket. I got like 500,000 views almost on it, so it's kind of like on a video that I did. So I really get the engagement. So I know the market is out there, but I just need to put it back together. So I'm working on a couple of deals, either to raise the money, either partner up with an existing company and just put it out there.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I gotta find your Instagram later on. I gotta lurk it. The cool thing about the round table is we're really looking for people and stories about business. Like I said, people have followed me about business. So when they presented this interview to me, I wasn't even really hip. I didn't know yet. Yeah. And I'm actually learning now, which is tight, because I'm the kind of guy that's gonna go back. I'm going to go Google and search and just tweak on the whole story, which I think people are listening to will do the same thing if they're not, a clothing connoisseur, if they're not aware of fashion and industry or whatnot. The story is definitely fucking amazing. Yeah.
And people tell me, like some people don't know my name and say, how do you get to 1 million? I say, well, I've been doing this. I've been in this game for 35 years.
Yeah.
And what amazes me the most, what flatters me the most is when I see a 70-year-old kid like from the streets that hits me on Instagram and say, you're such a legend, and I kind of laugh at it because I'm loving what I do. I'm not doing it for my ego. I'm not doing it, I'm still, of course I want to work and I want to make money and I want to continue doing things, but I really, for me, ask me to do a jacket for Drake or sell 1,000 jackets, of course I probably would want to sell the 1,000 jackets, but what would feed my soul more is to make that one single jacket.
I seen you did something for Muhammad Ali too.
Yeah, we did for Muhammad Ali. I did it for, like I said, most of the presidents. I've done all the fight. I did Mike Tyson from the beginning and on. I've done, probably 1,000 Nelson Mandela. Things like that. So I've had really very special. I did the 50 greatest players of the NBA, and so for me, it's just like being a kid born in Morocco and coming and raising in France from a math and growing up as a nerd and knowing that I'm here sitting and having dinner with Bill Clinton or sitting at a table with or being in Michael's house or hanging with around those people. It's kind of I still pinch myself when I meet a celebrity. It's just I always feel like I'm not worthy, kind of, like that.
No, it's cool though, because when we're not worthy. It's cool when you think about it though, because at the end of the day, man, you're put on this earth. There's millions and millions of people. Some just go to work every day, 9 to 5, and enjoy their family, or don't enjoy their family, or don't have. But when you're able to be somebody that creates influence and gets the elite people of the world, being celebrity, whether it be athlete, actor, actress, president,
cool business people.
When it's somebody that the whole world has their eyes on, embracing what you create, it's the best compliment in the world. Even with cookies, you got artists and athletes and football play. I mean, they're repping my brand. I'm like, wow, this was the vision, and everything from the logo to the colorway to the herb and the bag they're smoking is from us, and they're embracing it. That shit's a fucking huge compliment.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's just like even last week, I didn't know him, but what's his name? I didn't know. I'm not familiar with. I know a lot of the rappers. I didn't know Yuckmouth.
Yuckmouth, that's my boy. Bay Area.
Yeah, I didn't know of him, and somebody said, he wrote a song about you. I said, I've never heard it. So he sent me the video. It was done in 2005.
Oh yeah, Jeff Hamilton jacket,
Yeah.
NBA. He was something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
and Cameron, which I saw like a couple of weeks ago, he was in town. And Deep said they wrote like "Get 'Em Girls," like they talk about me also in the songs. I said, for me, it's just such a way, to be recognized like that. I'm just so flattered with it. It's not about, again, there's no dollar sign on it when you get.
It's pure passion. It's compliments. It's innovative. It's what a lot of people in the world would love to do, is connect with someone that's viewed as, royalty, or as, one of the bigger guys in the game. What, like, when people come to you for a jacket, like, let's say, like, I really want to get, now I have to get a jacket, like, because I met you, because you're cool, because I've seen, just by the little time I had to research before we walked in some of the work you did. What's the best way? Like, do people give you the idea of they want? Do you ever recommend a design?
Of course. I mean, what I do is I sit down with the person for a custom jacket. I listen to what they want, what they have a vision, and I am familiar with how far I can push it, how flashy you want to be, how conservative you want to be, how much practicality you want to have. So, and based on that, I work on it, and whether I create a jacket with a logo, or whether you want a jacket one of a kind, whether you want to make a jacket for I've done a lot of jackets for companies. Like sometimes, I make a jackets for, like let's say Mike Tyson. I made a jacket for all his Team Tyson. So I ended up making 300 jackets that he gave away to people.
Yeah.
So he had a budget of certain prices. So I try to fit myself to the budget. And so you can make it flashy, or you can make it as subtle as you want to be.
Yeah, I want to do a couple. I want to do some flashy, really like mafia type leather jacket. I want to do something really nice, because I like nice, sleek leather jackets. Yeah. I definitely think we should do a custom cookie one for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
And we should maybe probably figure out a way we could do a collab for the real fans out there that want something extremely quality, limited, autographed by you and myself.
I'm doing a lot of collabs right now with a lot of different brands right now. That's why I'm trying to work on a Supreme collab right now.
Man, that's if you get that done, you're the man.
Actually,
which I think you will be able to get that done.
Actually, I was supposed to get one done, but unfortunately, what they did, I love Supreme, so no disrespect to that, but they ended up knocking off one of my jackets.
No.
And they did it with Nike.
No.
And they basically did the shoe and a jersey and a jacket with it, like knocking off completely my jacket. And actually, I got a call from High Beast and from Nike. Actually, they said, are we paying you anything for that? I said, no, but it's okay. You don't have to pay me. At least give me the credit, and which they did not. But High Beast wrote, and I think USA Today wrote a big article about me. How come they don't give credit to and Revolt? How come they don't give me the credit to Jeff Hamilton? And I was happy with that, So.
Well, we do good business at Cookies, and we got a pretty big following, and I have access to a lot of artists. So if we do something, then if you don't get the Supreme thing done, or if you do, we will do something, and we'll give you all the.
No, we're working. Credit. I'm talking to Off-White. We're talking to a lot of other brands just to try to get and doing things like that. And that's where I think where it's at right now. But I want to relaunch a brand. The line is already done. It's kind of really an urban brand. Better price point also. It's not going to be the crazy thousands of dollars. It's going to be for the regular guy, that doesn't have like the thousands of dollars to pay, because I just wanted to make sure that everybody can afford, get the hoodies and get the backpacks and get like some.
You do backpacks too?
I do pretty much. I've designed everything from watches to furniture to basketballs to do a lot of.
Did you ever in a million years when you were young, coming to this country with your family, looking to get into business, did you ever think that you'd be able to accomplish the things you've accomplished and be sitting next to the people you sat next to?
For sure, not sitting to the people. I never thought I would be sitting next to the people I've encountered, especially the president and all the big stars and the Michael Jordan. I mean, listen, every time I've met Michael Jordan maybe 50, 60 times in my life. Every time I meet him, my heart just blows out of my chest, because I cannot believe, I'm with him, and but I've always been ambitious. I always knew I wanted to become somebody, and again, not necessarily just for the money, just for my pride and of trying to maximize my potential.
It's a legacy.
Exactly. Yeah.
You do things for people that like that, and you have the the chance to live forever. I would talk about it all the time, whether it be on my Instagram, whether it be in interviews or my music. The goal for me is not really the money that comes with this. It's the enjoying, the happiness of my family and the legacy. If you could leave a legacy behind.
And the recognition of when you do something right,
Yeah.
people appreciate what you're doing
Yeah.
it. And it's just not, and to try to stay humble and not to take it for granted, because listen, along the way, I took it also for granted many times in my life. I believe that it's going to be there forever. And then,
It's not, yeah,
and,
that's
and
good words.
As you get older, like I am, your feet start touching the ground much stronger.
Yeah.
And you start to realizing that you have to appreciate and be appreciative of every moment that you live,
While you're in the moment too, because you're right, things can come and go.
Yeah.
As fast as you get popping, as fast as you get wealth and success, it can go away even fucking quicker. And sometimes you get lost. Like, man, people don't understand. You make $100 million, $50 million goes to the IRS.
Yeah.
Then you have $50 million left, and
Sure.
it can go quick.
So and as much as I've had a history, I try not to. I enjoy my history, but I just don't want to dwell on it. I mean, I want to live in the present. What can I do today? And I don't want to think about the future. What can I do today? What seed can I plant today for tomorrow? For the seed that I plant today, how much fruit I'm going to collect like a few years down the road. But
Tommy Chong said some good words yesterday. We were really high in here. And Tommy Chong told me, he said, if you think about the past and you worry about the future, you'll never enjoy like the moment.
Yeah.
And thinking about what has happened in the past and overthinking what could happen in the future could be extremely poisonous to someone's mind. It could really fuck somebody up.
Yeah, there is a saying that I always refer. I didn't write that stuff, but somebody said that the past is history, the future is a mystery.
Yeah.
The present is now.
Yeah.
That's why we call it the present, because it's a gift that we have.
It's definitely a gift. So 2 things I want to kind of address before we tap out. Like I said, a lot of people that follow me and that are listening to this podcast, they are interested in business, right? So what's one of the biggest, what's some good advice you can give to someone trying to sell a company, trying to build a company? What's some good business advice? You've been through it all. You've locked down crazy contracts. It doesn't have to be about, the exit or you can go anywhere from how to start something, how to secure it, to how to lock down the kind of contracts you lock down. But if someone's listening that's just interested in business, that's really, really into business and all the stuff in the background, what's some advice you'd like to share with them?
Again, I always try to break it down in different ways. I believe that there's 4 elements to be totally successful. You have to work hard. That's number 1. There's no shortcuts. You cannot procrastinate. You have to. If something you procrastinate, I'm going to do it tomorrow. You're disrespecting God. You basically, or you're disrespecting the universe. If you have an opportunity to work hard today, work as hard as you possibly can get. Don't push anything to tomorrow. That's number 1. Work hard. Number 2, work smart. You have to make sure you don't make mistakes. Make sure who the people are around, they don't take advantage of you. Make sure you try to surround yourself with people that are good. Pay a little extra, but make sure you get the right advice. Third of all, you have to have that. I mean, that you cannot also buy it. You have to have some kind of talent.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to have the talent.
Yeah.
And the 4th element, that's the only thing it's uncontrollable. It's luck.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have 3 out of 4, luck. The good thing about luck comes in and goes out.
Yeah.
And we'll always do that. Even at the height of your game, luck will throw you a curveball. So you have to have, as long as you have a 3 element and you really are very concentrate on whatever you do, you're going to be successful. But you have your 4 elements at the same time. That's a perfect storm. You're just going to go through to the sky. You shoot to the sky.
Yeah, luck is crazy.
Yep.
I have a tattoo on my back that says "Born Lucky." People don't even know that.
Yeah.
I've never shared it. No one watching or listening has ever heard about that. But I just feel like I was born lucky. I was blessed, and it comes and goes. But when it comes in big ass waves.
Yeah. And myself, I'm probably the opposite of you. Myself, I'm not saying I'm not lucky. I've been very lucky, and I'm blessed. That I've been. But I go on the principle that I'm not lucky. Let me work as hard as I can. Let me talent it as much as I can. Maximize my talent, and let me try to work as smart as I can. If I have the 3, then the luck comes in as much as the luck, then it's going to work. So I really believe that if I could eliminate that factor, I'll be okay. But fortunately, you need to have the luck.
Businessman to businessman. So, and myself, I own about 13 to 15 companies. When do you decide to call it quits? Like, when are you going to be like, all right, I've done what I came here to do. I'm chilling. I've made enough bread. I've made enough impact in the world. I'm going to sit back and breathe. Because I don't think I ever can quit. And that's what scares me. Yeah. And so I ask other entrepreneurs, when do you turn it off? Like,
I think we've mentioned that word a lot of times tonight, but when the passion is not there anymore, when you burn out, you know, when sometimes you go in, like, the feeling when you wake up in the morning and you just can't wait to be into sitting in your desk and getting the phone calls and getting things done. When the moment when whether you have something personal in your life that you don't have that passion anymore, and you just don't want to wake up and go to your office, or you'd rather just go and hang with your family or go to the beach. At that point, that's one of the conditions. The second condition is when you know that you maximize whatever you can do it. Yeah. And at that point, you see there is a new trend that's coming out, as somebody else came up with a new concept, and that's going to take over and take away from your business, and your business is going to start declining. Just if you have the right opportunity and you can cash out, and when you think you're on top, you have to do it.
You got to do it right.
You have to do it right,
That's my biggest fear as an entrepreneur and as a businessman, is that I will never know when or how to tap out. I'm so obsessed with business and with working and networking and challenging myself. I just started this paper company right here, Vibes. I've been building Vibes, and I'm going head to head with some of the biggest boys in the industry. And it's just the challenge that gets me excited, man. It's just like a fire underneath me. And I hope that one day that shit will just kind of just simmer out a little bit, and I could chill with the fam.
And the other point also, don't never fall in love with your business. Yeah. Because because one day that business might not be there. So
fashion comes in waves.
Yeah. So
that's
don't
really
fall
important.
in love. Just you do it because, and if you can cash in and you look at listen, I put 5 years of my time, or 6 years, or 10 years of my time, and I can cash out a big number. You sell it. You can always, if you have the talent to build it, you can do it again.
You could rebuild something again, yeah.
Or you don't. You can chill and, like you say, do something like dream project like you have, whether it's in the entertainment world or in the movie business or different concept, or in the tech business or whatever.
Fuck around and go start a little restaurant on the beach somewhere and just sell the best fish tacos and whatever it may be.
Yeah, but again, on a business like that, as long as when it's some business like that, I would say, as long as it's your pocket money and you say, I'm willing to lose a couple of meal or a couple of dollars. I'm doing it for fun. It's a good place for me to hang. That's I would do. But who knows? If you do it right, before you know, you might have 1,000 stores around the world. Knowing you,
fuck around and create a franchise on accident, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Is there any jackets that you've made for people that didn't get in their hands that are around for sale right now? So did you create an extra jacket for Muhammad Ali, extra jacket for Michael Jackson, extra jacket for Michael Jordan? Is there any of those jackets just sitting around?
Yeah. I did. One of the things that I did when I made a special jacket, I always made an extra because I wanted to have when I made a jacket for Bill Clinton, I made an extra one. When I made Muhammad Ali, I would make an extra one, but I would get them to sign it for me.
So you got it signed.
I get it signed, and I would keep them, so that's the way I did it,
That's wild.
And this was part of my personal collection, lost a lot of them. Some of them were disappeared by accident, and some of them I sold a couple of them, and again, during all those years I built up a big collection of memorabilia, and after a while the passion was not there, so I started selling them and getting rid of all my memorabilia. But most of the special jackets I kept, and I still have the original Shaquille jacket or Kobe jacket.
If you have anything that doesn't have a signature on it that is 3X that will fit your boy, let me know. Yeah, I'm interested in cashing out on something special.
I have a lot. I still have some 3X, 4X jackets. Yeah.
Yeah, 3, because I'm in between the 3 or 4. I'm trying to stay consistent with the 3, but depending on the cut. But if you see something special, I will come cash you out for something. I like mafia special things.
And they're not going to be those prices. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure I'll hook you up.
Where could the average guy listening right now that may have some bread in his pocket, that may be an artist that's coming up that has good influence, how could they get a hold of you for a custom jacket if you?
The best way, without trying to plug my Instagram is to DM me on Instagram, because I'm very active on it, and even though I get 50, 60 DMs a day, I answer every one of them.
Let the world know what your Instagram is.
It's Jeff Hamilton. At Jeff Hamilton.
And you were able to get the name, which is good, because sometimes someone comes on Instagram, the name's taken, it's done, you can't get it.
No.
So
actually, we was taken for a minute.
But you got it back.
I ended up getting it back.
Good.
Once I got verified and all that stuff,
that's what makes life easier. That blue check.
That blue check, made my life a little bit easier, and because I had such a history, and I was able to. It used to be, for the longest time, it was called Jeff Hamilton Jackets, and then I kept Jeff Hamilton Jacket.
Now that Yuck Mouth song is popping back in my head so much right now. Yeah. So shout out to Yuck Mouth. That's my Bay Area brother.
I never met him, actually. I DM'd him, but I didn't get a hold of him. I need to.
He's a good guy. Him, yeah. He would appreciate it, and he'll rock the shit out of it too. Yeah. So, for everyone listening, this was definitely game given to you from a super entrepreneur in the business world. You heard it from him. You do not have to be educated or knowledgeable in the field you want to hop in. You do have to be talented. You do have to have the passion and the drive. And this was very motivational for me, being in the clothing game. So I appreciate you stopping by today.
Thank you so much.
And hopefully you will see a Jeff Hamilton Cookies collab on some really, really player shit. The illest smoking leather jacket you've ever seen in your life. That's what I envision. Something so player for the smokers that got the dope ass Zippo lighters that cost, $1,000, $2,000. We got to come with the dopest smoking jacket possible.
We can do that, yeah.
Even if it's a one-on-one fee.
And we'll do it the way we'll do it. We'll sign every single jacket. You'll sign it.
Yes,
I'll sign
I will sign it. Jeff will sign it.
Everything with limited edition and numbered, and we'll number every one of them.
Yes. We are going to do that soon, and that's the one thing about the Roundtable, man. We are here to network and do business with business, tycoons. I appreciate your time,
Thank you,
Jeff.
my friend. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
If you like what you're hearing, man, make sure you subscribe to the channel.